From frogs, to iguanas, to crested geckos, and everything in between, we know that the nutritional needs of all of our favorite reptiles and amphibians are vastly different. So how do we know what to feed our favorite animals, and how do we know if they even like it? Let's look at some quick resources to make sure that we don't have any nutrient deficiencies in the animals we love. So the first thing we need to do is figure out whether our animal is an herbivore, an omnivore, or an insectivore. Obviously, the crickets and salad that I feed this little guy here are not going to be the same as just the crickets that I feed my White's tree frogs. So how do we figure that out?
I don't even know what that means.
Even more than just what food they like to eat in the wild, while you're on Wikipedia, you can start researching all about their natural habitat's 5 parameters and what the climate and environment is in just a few clicks.
So now you've figured out that your bearded dragon's an omnivore, your chameleon's an insectivore, and your iguana absolutely loves salad. But you get online to look for feeders or for supplementation, and the next thing you see, it's like walking into CVS or Walgreens as a person and seeing all of these supplements on the wall. There's vitamin A, vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, turbolights, electrolytes, hyperlights, all the lights. How do you pick which supplementation is absolutely best for your animal?
Once again, you can just hop on your computer and start doing some really good research. If you start Googling reptile nutrition and reptile supplements, you can find a ton of really good scientific papers that go super in depth into the exact vitamins that your specific animal needs to survive.
Tim, I love geeking out on this just as much as you do, but there has to be an easier way.
Yeah, I got a little into the science there.
So let's talk about what this video is really truly about. We've been talking a lot about nutrition. We know it's incredibly important for the health of our animals, but how do we actually find easy to use information? Well, we need to look for reptile and amphibian care sheets. And what are reptile and amphibian care sheets, Tim?
Yeah, well, you got to consider the fact that we've been keeping reptiles and amphibians for a long time at this point. So there's a wealth of knowledge out there that you can go and find and use. And that information is in the form of care sheets, which cover the basic list of facts that you use to set up your terrarium, but most importantly, it includes the nutrition and supplementation information for your specific animal.
Now, one of the most important things I think of when we're looking at where to get our care sheets from is the source, obviously.
Yep.
So people that sell feeder insects, they want to sell more feeder insects. People that sell supplementation, guess what? They want to sell supplementation. So we need to find reputable care sheets from great sources. And we think 2 of those great sources are from your local animal vet that specializes in exotic animals, and from the keepers and breeders that actually sell these animals to you.
Yep. So you can go into a vet and you can talk to them and get a care sheet. Typically, vets will actually have a lot of printed out care sheets for the most common animals. They can also give you free advice depending on how much time they may have available. But my personal preference is to go to the reptile breeder. Why? Well, the reptile breeder has spent potentially years, even decades, developing good care for his animals, and he wants to sell them to you, but most importantly, he wants you to succeed and have a healthy animal so that when you bring it home and love and care for it, you can go back to him for another one.
So how do we find these really good reptile care sheets from some of the great breeders that are out there or from vets? Well, when we talk to really good breeders like, I don't know, our good friend Frank Payne or Josh's Frogs, they'll have that info right there on their website or when you buy an animal from them. I've bought my own frogs from Josh's Frogs and know that it came with a care sheet for my White's tree frog, right there with the order. But let's say you didn't buy it directly from a breeder or from one of these sites. You're having a little bit of a hard time finding it. A really good source of information that is growing by the day is actually our website, leaphabitats.com. So if you go to the animal care tab right at the top, you're actually going to see care sheets that we developed with breeders. I know Frank's written a lot of them for us, and I know you've been working with some other breeders so that you can give that best care that you possibly can.
Yeah, and whether you get your information from a vet, a breeder, or our website, the most important thing is your animal's health. And we want you to have fun with this process and make sure that your animals are as happy and healthy as they can be. Thanks.